from the horse's mouth himself.
Okay.
The first thing he said, D-Sig.
Yes, we talked about
on
that.
Lance.
On Lance?
Yeah.
Okay.
D-Sig.
That was the,
okay,
we were talking
on.
about how both weapons.
I didn't ask further. He said D-Sig, and that was enough for me because, like, I agree.
Well, because we were talking about how both of them are good.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just true.
And then secondary, he was like, yeah, and also defense.
Yeah, okay.
So you're vindicated a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm vindicated a little bit. And we have a better understanding. The second thing is we talked about it. You brought it up. Teros. And I brought up kind of playing Teros at a recent tournament. Tazza, who's on our screen with the name Godly.
I didn't even register that was the Roman Reigns that coming out from Godly. And you're right. That is going to be Axe and Hammer picked out from Godly in game number 1. And not doing so hot at the very start here. They had some really great team combos into Fozie's gauntlets, but they can't get these knockouts just yet. And that,
nice.
It's almost the same.
Perfect
you saw
angle.
Sack trying to bat him away out of that, but he was a little too low. But they managed to take one stock, and they can clean up a second one pretty quickly here. Oh, and there's that neutral light coming out from Fozie as well. Wess trying to get into the stage. Goes for the alley-oop, and Sack is a little too high on that recovery. D-Light Sider almost works out there, and a little bit of friendly fire means that Sack is not going to be able to take out Godly just yet, but that neutral light catches both Fozie and Godly. Goes for the pogo, the weapon throw, everything. This edge guard pressure is fantastic coming out from both of them. Oh, and that ground pound does not connect. Recovery hits as well.
Godly sent over to the edge. He doesn't have a weapon. Fozie gets a knockout off the top. That gives Godly plenty of room to get back. He's still living on the second stock. Meanwhile, Sack spawning in very fresh on his second. Nice down air from Sack, but Fozie dominating. That is 3 KOs on his second stock. He's made the second stock work for him really well. He is extremely damaged, so he might lose it very soon. There's a nice Sayer. Sack completely disengages, goes under the stage, and gets back up. Doesn't want to deal with Fozie's gauntlets.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is the first and last time we'll see the Teros from Godly coming out of the start of the screen here, because Fozie goes down, D-Light Sider weapon throw, has the dive kick out of the way. They don't even have to go for the edge guard there because they know that, yes, Wess, one falling Sider can take Godly out, and Fozie stuck in the 1v2. Now, we've seen Fozie do really, really well.
Yep.
In the 1v2 when it's one stock apiece, but
oh, they still get that.
Wow.
Even with Wess like moving off of the main stage and kind of falling with that downlight that he picked up. Fozie going in for the big bow. Ground pound didn't quite make it.
Oh, Sack going off the left side of the stage. Okay, I forgot that Sack was the one with 2 stocks available there, so he had one to throw away, but he literally did throw that one away. There's the down.
That's what I was talking about,
and then
baby.
Wess was like, Sparky, let me show you again.
Yeah. He also brought it out in the last time we saw this team play, right as I said, that Lance down signature as well. So yeah, Wesley might be tapped into the comms here, but he's definitely tapped into this game, playing extremely well. Sack, of course, playing extremely well. Fiend and Use, who, during the pre-show, I was like, if I'm looking at Wesley and Sack and Fiend and Use, I'm picking Fiend and Use. But no, Luna and Snowy 3-0'd Fiend and Use. Meanwhile, Wesley and Sack 3-1 made an experience in winners quarterfinals right before this set.
Yeah, there was some interesting discussion that I was having with Luna and Snowy about how they feel like South America as a region, while being very good, is not very experienced against Cannon in 2s. And that's something that he feels like they have the upper hand against Europe because the weapon's not really used there in those doubles environments. But in North America it can be different. But right now on the screen, Fozie with that down signature into down air, spikes Sack off the right side of the stage. And now Wess and Sack are at a deficit here in game number 2 after a really dominant game 1.
And exactly like you called it towards the end of game 1, we have no more Teros, no more Roman Reigns coming out from Godly. We still do have a crossover. And of course, it's the Street Fighter crossover. Perfect timing for the Dawson to come out. Yeah, and this is something that Godly's had a lot of success with on 2. The double gauntlets from both of these players in general is very fantastic. That was a crazy amount of knockback there. Ooh,
gets that knockout. Can he get the follow-up? No, he slides off the stage. I think if he gravity canceled it, he would have stayed at the right angle to follow it up, because if you don't do that, you'll descend a little bit as you hold that side signature, but they're still solidly in the never mind. That recovery will get the double knockout and even up the game 2 to, or 4 stocks to 4. Godly and Fozie in a really good spot here coming into game 2. Of course, they are down 0-1. Fozie's going to be looking for a weapon. There is no spawn on the field just yet. Wess juggling Godly. Looked like he might have tried to take him off the top, but no, he chased him over onto the right side. Oh, nice signature from Fozie. Nice ground pound from Fozie as well. Meanwhile, Godly took Sack off the top. And Wess just goes off the right side of the stage. He had a slight opportunity to recover there, but you saw him diagonal dodging off the stage into the blast zone because he just wants to make it back in time to help his teammate, because he knows if he takes too long, one strong hit means that Sack's at risk of being victim to a team combo. And look at these, double edge guard from Wess. Can he get Godly? Can he get Fozie? Oh, they're both hitting each other. They're stacked. Godly goes down and Fozie recovers to the sky. He manages to hold on. Oh, and here we go. Fozie landing with that down air. tries to find the neutral light right afterwards, goes out to the platform, double sidelight does not connect, and Sack manages to get through. Wess knocking Fozie away, but still hasn't gotten the second stock. Godly, once again, a little vulnerable here as that gravity cancel sidelight Nair comes through, and Godly got so close to getting picked away by that side air from Wess.
There's the neutral line. Oh, he was able to dodge just in time. Didn't send fast enough, ended up falling into Wess's D-Sig, so they didn't get the conversion there. They did still eventually get the knockout onto Fozie, putting him on final stocks. Godly, Wess, and Sack are all in about the same boat here, while Fozie is fresh. That's going to be the thing that could seal this victory for Godly and Fozie. Their recovery not taken off the top just yet.
Yeah, but Sack and Wess, no! He went in for the save there. Okay, he didn't hit Sack, but Sack manages to survive, but the D-Light ground pound comes through, and Wess putting his focus onto Fozie there might be misguided. Yeah, silent recovery comes through and Fozie says, bring it on. That game that you won was a fluke. We had the Taros there, we put it away. It's not his time yet. And man, with the tried and true Dhalsim and Zariel, they managed to take that game number 2 quite well. I do think that the first stock defined the rest of that match.
I would definitely agree with you.
So I don't think Wess and Sack are going to switch dramatically after that one, but was a very big difference having Godly playing the game that time.
And they were able to take out Sack so early. So Godly was playing the game, and at least for that first stock, they didn't let Sack play the game at all. Basically took the controllers out of his hands and said, sit down, you're watching a cutscene, and then you're going to meet the blast zone.
Yeah. And here we go into game number 3. Yeah, Wess and Sack still on that Brennan and the Roland. Zariel and the Dhalsim coming out here. I think this is how it's going to be for the rest of this this set, to be honest. Unless something like brutal happens, like a 4-stock in either direction.
Because what was that Taros pick? Was that just like, I'm gonna out-mental them game 1 and try and do that damage?
He may have been winning with Taros the entire day, and that was the first time that they lost that bad. And sometimes that's just what happens, right? You limit test with a certain character that you think this is what it's going to be, this is what I'm going to carry it on with this, and it just didn't work out. So now we're back to the double gauntlets, and Godly is still taking a ton of damage. Oh wait, did they? Okay, no. I thought that DI was possible there, but the neutral light and the downlight just sounds really similar.
Yeah.
They did neutral light to neutral light, downlight into the combo, gets Fozie up the top, and that's huge because Godly, I've noticed, tends to just take a lot of damage. And Fozie, you have to have a little bit more concentrated team combos to get him into a amount of damage where he can get knocked out by a straight hit. His survivability is just so great. So them being able to get into that position to find a team combo like that is huge. But that's the second time that Fozie succeeded with that down signature off the side of the stage. His signature accuracy with Zariel is unmatched.
Now, Sack coming in lost his first stock about a minute 10 into this game. Meanwhile, Wess, just in the orange, he's living, took a little bit of team damage there, but it's not a terrible thing. Actually, now putting out a little bit of team damage onto Sack. Over on the edge,
nice
Fozie does not get the edge guard. Wess here to provide a little bit.
That was a crazy spacing from Godly there to not get hit by the actual recovery and still get the punish onto Sack. Wess goes down, and now Sack has to recover.
Nice nair.
That was great. It covered his head, and Godly goes over the down to afterwards, and Fozie, with that accidental friendly fire there, it does end up turning into them getting the knockout there, but that could have been very scary.
Ooh, Godly tried to get the read on Wess, jumping up in a way to keep himself out of any possible 2v1 team combos while Sack was coming in. That was a great choice by Godly, even though it didn't actually make the hit because it was close. That was the direction that Wess ended up going.
Yeah, and now Fozie going over that recovery, sends Wess off the left side, and that is a crazy neutral that just hits.
Nice dare. Godly not quite able to get up. You saw him sweating. He tried to dodge up, didn't have enough distance off of that dodge to actually touch the corner. There's the signature KO. Charging that one up, Godly is able to get over and around it. That's probably why Fozie charged it, to give Godly plenty of time to get away from it, because it wasn't going to end up hitting Wess. You see Wess side airing, trying to keep himself safe over there as he recovers back, but he ends up falling. And again, Fozie dominating on his second stock. He is a second stock Samuel here, taking out so many stocks from the other team without going on to his final.
Yeah, in general, I think it's safe to say that Fozie's just dominates in twos in general. There's been so many positions like this to where I see the situations where it's like, okay, Godly could be a weak link here, but Fozie's at 3 stocks and doing 700 damage, so does it really matter? He's just so fantastic in doubles, and we see Wess with this insurmountable lead to come through here, right? That neutral light setup doesn't lead into a team combo, but it's still pretty bad.
You saw Weston immediately try to confirm that edge guard. He was too worried about Fozie there, so he just got back onto the main stage. There's the side signature. We don't usually see that one coming out. Even on the rare occasion people play Roland. Oh, not quite. Didn't quite have the timing. People seem to struggle with finding the axe recovery follow-ups onto those diagonal hits. I feel like I see those whiffs come out so often.
Oh, and Godly does go down at the very end for Fozie just to get the revenge knockout. You see a little head nod there being like, okay, I see what's happening. They might make some adjustments. I know that while the Roland is the pick that Wess has been going with, it's not necessarily, we know he has many other legends, right? The Roland's a rather new thing that's coming out from him recently. And then Sack, I think, in that game in particular, if we're looking at the damage you're looking at right now, he just got deleted so quickly.
Yeah,
in
he
that
only
game.
did 309.
I mean, if you look at the damage graph, he literally just didn't have a graph for half of the stage. And they are going to be staying to the same team composition. So they're looking at that and they're like, okay, we got outplayed off stage that game. Let's keep to what we think is working. And we're going into this game number 4, where so far the only win that Wess and Sack have gotten over Godly and Fozie was the game where Godly was on Terros.
Sidelight Nair coming out from Sack, not able to find a third move for the follow-up. Meanwhile, Fozie putting the gauntlets to Wess. Now he's changing things up. Side sig coming out. Sack's going to have to do some damage this game. 309 is just not enough, especially when last game he only played about 60% of the game before he was taken out.
He's doing a lot better here, getting the side airs to get the follow-ups. That was a down air into a neutral light, and that's such a beautiful side stick coming out from Fozie, getting that knockout, putting out an extra bit just in case he was able to make it back to the stage. But Sack so damaged that I think a Sair, the next act down
the D-Light almost did it, man. That was so close. There's not a lot of damage on Fozie and Godly just yet, so I don't think they're necessarily in knockout territory. Maybe if Wess picks up a signature really close to the edge.
I don't even think a Roland down stick would do it at this point.
Yeah,
right?
I agree with you.
I think the weakness that Roland has, as fast as the signatures are, is that the knockout power is like, it's honest. You're not
he's base 4.
You are not going to Caspian side sig your way out of this one, right? So it's like, they do end up going down, and not too much damage on them in exchange for that there. So 4 stocks to 4 across the board. But it is match point here for Wess and Sack.
They're really not in a bad spot here. They are a little bit behind. Godly and Fozie are in the yellow. Sack starting to take some punishment here, see if he can get back safely. Godly almost ground pounded into that signature from Fozie. He's going to let him fly. That is because you're playing Zariel. That is how you play that legend.
Yeah, goes for the neutral signature there, and Wess just can't make it back to the stage.
Sack falls shortly
afterwards. Yeah, and this is looking bad, Sparky. Godly and Fozie are just on it with this team composition. I mean, they've been doing so well with it for so long. Double Gauntlets have gotten so many adjustments in 2s, and they still just keep adapting to how the composition works and just making it work even better. Like honestly, the more I watch Fozie play Zariel, the more I'm like thinking, why don't more players play Zariel in 2s? It's just such a staple pick from him so far, and it's been working for so long. That down six, beautiful. Look at the utility that he gets out of Zariel's signatures. He's just so incredible at the character. Oh, okay, just barely didn't, and that's fair because the neutral has like a higher angle of knockback there, so I think it just barely whiffed.
He had a moment to 1v1 Godly, threw out 2 neutral airs. Godly has the axe, immediately 2 hits back. And if you're changing 2 for 2, Lance versus axe, that's going to go for the axe player every time. You're going to have that higher damage per move. Wess is doing a great job in this 1v2, though. I just think it's going to be too little too late, because let's say in a perfect world, he takes out Godly. All of a sudden, Wess is still very much in the red. Like he took out Fozie here, has the chance to take out Godly, but Godly's really only in the orange.
Yeah, and that neutral
doesn't even get a chance. Do we charge that one up?
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, and Godly and Fozie are already up, getting ready to go on, because that's their last match of the day.
They're done.
Not of the weekend. Top 4 will be on Sunday, but that is where they have just qualified in. So that means they're on winners finals. So they are guaranteed top 3 here, going in from winner's side. Already has a